Alright, that should just about do it. Let's see here. Hello there! Wait a minute, what's going on here? What are you doing, Firefox? Bad, Firefox. Bad. Hold on. What in the world? I swear I'm not doing this on purpose. This just happens. Thanks a lot, Firefox. Ah, Firefox, why do you do this to me? Now of all times. What is it, what in the world? This is embarrassing. Chillin' Fate Zero? Maybe. Maybe. Though this is not really about Fate Zero as much as it's about Fate Stay Night. And the fact that I plan to do a retrospective on Fate 2006. But in order to do that, I actually have to learn about the development history about the original visual novel, which I intend to do. I intend to do just... Is that what in the world? Okay, hold on. I need to retrace my steps. Here. Start with a particular article. There we go. I don't just want to go on Wikipedia and copy-paste what's on there. That'd be lazy. And obvious. No, no, no. I want to do this right. I want to do it right. Hold on. A bit. Instead of that... No, that's not it. Doing this live. This sucks. What all YouTubers do? Well, not me. I'm not that kind of person. I don't want to just go on Wikipedia and shit out content like that. No, I want to do this right. That's what I plan to do. If only it would just... There we go. Firefox, you silly goose. There we go. We're starting with this article right here on an old website that I never heard of called Commie Press. I assume comic book press. That's the... Because I don't want to... That's a whole different topic. I don't want to get into that. That's a whole different can of worms that I am not particularly invested in. Commie Press. An old interview with Kinoko Nasu and Takashi Takeuchi about Fate Stay Night. I was recommended this months back during my initial proposal to do the video project. The retrospective project, I should say. But I never got around to actually doing this. I don't know. For some reason, I just kind of slept on it. Right? Doing this project. Going in and actually doing some writing, which, for the record, wow. Yep. I have this Google document open right here. This is supposed to be the script, right? So I have the title as Fate Stay Night 2006, you know, question marks years later because I'll calculate how old Fate Stay Night 2006 is later. Hello, Cosmic Sinkhole, you legend. How's it going? I'm starting a new video. Let's actually do it, let's get started with this. Like, let's actually do some research, get to the bottom of Fate Stay Night 2006. Not Fate Stay Night 2006. No, I want to get to the bottom of Fate Stay Night 2006, but in order to do so, I have to learn about the actual development history of Fate Stay Night itself, the visual novel, because essentially, you know, that's where the adaptation, where Studio Dean's adaptation is derived from ultimately, and where I can find a paper trail on just what if I basically, if I can learn about the development history of Fate Stay Night, the visual novel, maybe I can learn a thing or two about the history of the 2006 anime while I'm at it. So that's the be-all, end-all of that. So let's see what we got here. Opening Firefox again. Right here to this old Commie Press interview. Actually, should I put on music? I might as well put on music, just to make things a little more interesting. Let me lower it down a little bit though. Make sure it doesn't like overpower anything. There we go. Put it down to maybe 28 decibel, negative 28 decibels. There we go. Can you still hear me over all this music? If so, then, you know, looks like we're golden. Alright, the Fate Stay Night staff's interview from 2006. Frickin' June 30th, 2006. This is an old one. And this is where it all begins, really. As far as this potential retrospective project that I'm starting is derived from, or is going to take root from. Got to save these web pages for when I get to the actual video itself. A translation of the interview from Dengeki Online with Type Moon, where the Fate Stay Night creators talk about the PS2 version of the game, Fate Stay Night Real Tenua. So this is technically about the Real Tenua version of Fate Stay Night. And we're going to work from, I guess we're going to go through this, see how much information we can derive from here. The world of Fate Stay Night was created roughly 10 years ago. So 10 years ago from 2006, so 1996. That's a long time. Alright. First, tell me your positions in the staff. We got Takeshi Takeuchi saying, I designed the characters and drew sketches. I was also producing and selling promotions. To which you have Kineko Nasu saying, I was in charge of the game's creation and wrote the scenario. Okay, we're starting off on the right foot, I guess. Let's see. How did you come to make the decision to create Fate? Fate was originally a story I wrote when I was in college. In it, the gender of Saber and Shiro were opposite to now, which, if you know about Fate Prototype, you pretty much know that. A bit of nugget of information right there. I knew that ahead of time myself, but the essential theme had not been changed. It's the story about legendary heroes and a boy meets a girl of the opposite gender. Like obviously the genders were flipped, you know, in the final. But interesting that, you know, he essentially narrows it down to a boy meets a girl story. All right. Where Takeuchi goes on to say, I created it because I just liked it, and I wanted to make something like Tsukihime, but more sophisticated. I changed the character's gender in order to have them fit in with the gamers today, which is to say the demographics, visual novel demographics, which has always been contentious in a way. You know, there's always been conflicting, you know, it's always been a little conflicting, you know, by some people saying, you know, why the genders were flipped, you know, for Saber and Shiro. But no, it really is just demographics of Japan at the time, of course, where essentially a visual novel demographic were expected to be in the mindset of a male character, and basically go from there. Heterosexual, straightforward, straight relationships. The only thing I need to know about Fate is Astolfo. Astolfo is definitely a Fate Apocrypha kind of thing. Also, I guess it's Fate Apocrypha, but also to an extent, maybe also a little bit of Fate Extella, because Astolfo does make an appearance in Fate Extella Link as the playable character as well. The video is when it's made, it's going to be definitely about Fate Stay Night. But maybe I might come to make a videos about the other sides of the Fate series, the Fate franchise rather. The Fate franchise is obviously spanning off into different subsets and all that jazz, spin-offs and the like. Might actually do that at some point. Anyway, let's see here. In order to fit them in with the gamers of the day, covered that. Well, I remember one of the reasons it was changed was because he made the request to let him draw a girl with armor. Finally, it came true. Very straightforward response from Nasu. He just wanted to... Takeuchi just wanted to make a chick with armor on. Guy of simple tastes, refined tastes, elegant tastes. Okay. What was the theme you were trying to express? The main theme is conquering oneself. There are 3 storylines in Fate, each has a different theme. The first one is the oneself as an ideal. The second one is struggling with oneself as an ideal. The third one is the friction with real and ideal. So Fate, Unlimited Blade Works, and then of course you have Heaven's Feel, which is the darkest, and holy shit, it definitely kicks Shiro's ass, ideology-wise. But yeah, the game is describing the growth of the main character, Emiya Shiro. The first storyline shows his slanted mind. The next storyline shows his resolve. The last storyline gives another resolution for him as a human. All 3 storylines are essentially equal, but they have different forms. By the way, how's the audio so far? Actually, let me check the... Okay, I just checked the feed here, the audio feed. Might have to lower the volume on the music a little bit to negative 30 decibels. There we go. Let's see. So, conquering oneself. Interesting, little input from Nasu there. Fate is oneself as an ideal. Pretty straightforward story, Fate. Unlimited Blade Works definitely more complicated, but it ultimately ends in a way where Shiro's ideals don't necessarily break. But I guess, he does kind of come to learn, more as a protagonist. And then Heaven's Feel, it just beats the shit out of him. Oh god, it's his ideals are just not healthy. So let's see here. The game is describing the growth of the main character, Emiya Shiro. The first storyline shows his slanted mind. Next storyline shows his resolve. The last storyline gives another resolution for him as a human. All 3 storylines are essentially equal, but they have different forms. Takeuchi. Nasu's original story wasn't completed, but it had its ending. I thought for almost 10 years, how did he come up with this ending? It means a lot for me to be able to help finish this story. Nasu, hey, you're exaggerating, XD. Wow. Takeuchi, the first story is fate itself for me. Of course it is. It's basically the route that you start with first. Basically. Want to start out with the fate route, and then you go down into Blade Works, then to Heaven's Feel. It's just a shame that for some reason Ufotable decided, okay, we're going to skip the fate route. We're just going to do Unlimited Blade Works and Heaven's Feel only, without doing a readaptation of Fate, which I'm still waiting for. I'm still holding out hope that they'll actually make a readaptation of the Fate route, because that route's important, and it wasn't exactly adapted very well in 2006 by Studio Dean. Though there's a lot they cut out from it for some reason. I don't know why they cut out certain details about, like, Saber's backstory and her arc. You know, some of which just makes her a more compelling character if you know these things that they cut out, because they cut out quite a bit. They cut out quite a bit of important information, and let's just say that Saber as a character would be a lot more popular to non-visual novel fans if they did a readaptation of the Fate route, did it right, and made the story about her. Because she really is. Because as someone whose waifu is Saber, she's only really compelling when the story is about her. So a Fate route readaptation would be so welcome, because it would just make her a more popular, more understandable, more compelling character to non-visual novel Fate fans. Let's see. They participated as advisors in the creation of the anime. Now, this is the little bit of information that I really need for the video, because this is going to be about Fate, Studio Dean's Fate Stay Night, how this came to be, and the retrospective, how it holds up over the course of time. Because obviously Fate Stay Night is in a different place. Well, the Fate series in general is in a different place compared to 2006. It's in a whole different league compared to where it was back in the day. Going from a fairly niche visual novel, to a successful visual novel that's never had a Western release, all the way to being a multi-billion-dollar IP in Japan, and to an extent being fairly popular in the Western anime sphere. So completely different place. Let's see. How did Fate become an anime? I heard that many fans were requesting it. Takeuchi. In the beginning, we created Fate in our doujin group. So at first, I hesitated to move on to the commercial field. When the first Fate story was completed, I felt now could be the time for us to expand our field. We decided at the start that we must work with responsibility and expand our activity to another media form. I catched anime in my scope. At that time, this time, we got an offer from Genion Entertainment Company, and we decided to agree on their offer after discussion with their staffs, and I felt we became a good team. Okay, so a Genion approached them for Fate 2006. That's a little nugget of information there that I can maybe work with. Let's see. What are your positions in creating the animation of Fate? Nasu was supervisor. Okay, I joined as a supervisor. The time of production coincided with the creation of Fate Hollow Ataraxia, which I still need to review, by the way. I still need to finish Fate Hollow Ataraxia. But it's always been on the list, okay? Fate Hollow Ataraxia. I know I need to do it. I'm putting it off. It's just, I don't know. I just haven't finished it for some reason. I don't know why. It's been years. Creation of Fate Hollow Ataraxia, which we had to put priority on. Then I discussed with the director and the chief scenario writer and decided to use the first storyline of Fate as the base of the anime. I suggested how to separate it into 24 episodes. I joined the meetings as the supervisor. Okay, so Nasu was, in a way, partially, I guess in a way, Nasu was responsible for the fact that Fate 2006 did try to cram in all three storylines into one hodgepodge. So, I got you to blame, Nasu. All right. At least according to this, you know. That again, like, I don't know if I've ever brought this up, but information about Fate 2006's development is really scarce. There's almost nothing aside from little nuggets like Mash from Fate Grand Order was originally going to be an original character that was going to be introduced in the anime, but then things changed. You know, they essentially changed the storyline before, you know, they went all in on production. I know that much, but there's just so much about Fate 2006 that is a mystery behind the scenes. I gave advice on the designs of the characters, Takeuchi, their clothes, weapons, how to keep their identification to their counterparts in the original game story. Got a cute little picture of Nasu. Look at Nasu. Cute little picture of Nasu. I wonder if he looks like that in real life. And then we get to Ayako Kawasumi. Alright. The voice of my waifu. Alright. Ayako Kawasumi Saber has dignity in her cuteness. Did you participate in the casting of voice actors and actresses? Nasu. I participated in the casting meetings and acted selfish. XD. Takeuchi had wanted to apply Kawasumi's son as Saber, and I agreed with him. Why did you choose Ayako Kawasumi? She has a beautiful, elegant, yet girly voice. Ooh. Okay. Which I agree with. Maybe not with the girly part, but beautiful and elegant. For sure. I had her voice in mind from the beginning, because I needed the dignity in Saber's voice. I heard her voice in another anime back then, and I thought, her voice is cool and pretty with dignity. Also, the sound director had suggested her. I knew he had the same images of her as I. The reason Takeuchi picked Junichi Suwabe as Archer was terrific. He got the idea from the Prince of Tennis. He was the candidate for another character, but the test result was so great, we decided to change immediately. Okay, why did Takeuchi-san needed Suwabe-san as Archer? His voice is pretty awesome. We had some options, but we had planned to have a young actor for Archer, and all we needed after that was joining Jonji Nakata. Why did you want Nakata-san so eagerly? We love him. Okay, let's see here. He has participated in all of our works from when we were just a doujin group. We met him when we were creating Kar no Kyokai. He has a nice voice, and he is a very nice guy. We fell in love with him. We fell in love from the first time we met. I'm sorry for misreading that bit. It'd be interesting if they fell in love with him. On a personal level. Anyway, Takeuchi. He read all 2 bulky volumes of Kara no Kyokai, just for his 3 lines of dialogues. It was when we were just a Dojin group. We were impressed with his attitude, Nasu says. Oh yeah, here we go. Kana Ueda as Rin. Why'd you pick her? Takeuchi. Her voice is too cute. But we dared to make Rin's voice cute. I mean, there's other ways to describe her voice other than cute, but okay. We thought, should we look for another possibility for Rin's voice? How about making Rin act overly proud with a cute voice? However, it could be risky. Okay, so they're basically just talking about voice actors at the time. Noriko Shitaya as Sakura. She has a pretty sweet voice like honey, Nasu says. I can't blame her even if she does anything bad with that voice. Wow! I can't blame her even if she does anything bad with that voice. XD. Freaking XD? Jesus Christ, Nasu. She goes through shit. Goes through a lot of shit. Sakura, I mean. Not the voice actress, but... Yeah, Wow. Okay, so, Nasu. Being pretty based. Back in this day and age. Back then. Just going, oh yeah. She can do anything bad with that voice. Can't blame her. Wow. Okay. If you know anything about Fate Stay Night, and especially the visual novel, you know that Sakura is, oh boy. Let's see here. In the anime, Fujine, or rather, you know, Fujimura, of course, was also very impressive. She is very powerful, but she has many fans among staffs and voice actresses. Miki Ito-san is naturally like her. Oh, sorry, XD. Okay, I can't tell if this is really Nasu's personality or this is just a bad translation of everything. But then again, like, were the XDs like added by the staff at the time, or was that in the original Japanese text? Why did you try express in the anime? Okay, that's definitely a weird sentence, but we'll roll with it. Nasu. The main theme of the anime was a boy meets a girl story, because a majority of the opinions hope for the first storyline, and the director wanted it also. Anime is following the story in the game, sure, but if they had some good gimmicks, they can add it under our agreement. However, some elements like magic spells, settings of the world, were deleted since all elements in the original stories cannot fit into just 24 episodes. Which is kind of a contrast to today, where Ufotable kinda actually sort of wanted to cram in like even the little things about the world of Fate, of the Fate of the Nasuverse, basically. Magic spells, the settings of the world, the fact that they okay, so they basically simplified things just because of the 24 episode limit. The settings of the world, so talking about like the greater concepts of the Nasuverse that also kind of tie into Tsukihime and Kara no Kyokai as well. And of course, Witch on the Holy Night, or you know, Maho Tsukai no Yoru. which wasn't released at the time. Anyway, let's see here. Again, that's an interesting little tidbits that I really didn't know about. Except for, let's see. Because I know that the original plan for Fate 2006 was to be an original story that was based on the visual novel, but it would just kind of do its own thing, which didn't come to pass. I know about that. But 24 episodes. You'd think 24 episodes would have been enough time to expand on the, or touch upon the smaller aspects of Fate's Day Night. But no. Okay. And then they just talk about the PS2 version, Real Tenua. Fate PS2 version is created for the remaining 5% in the PC version. Again, that's a weird translation there. Now I need to talk about the PS2 version. Tell me how Fate headed to PS2. As I said, it's part of our expansion plan. Decided to work with Kadokawa when we were going to take Fate to the console game market. Are you satisfied with the original Fate as a PC game? Nasu says, I was satisfied 100% with it. No, 95% XD. What's the remaining 5%? Nasu. We were making it up in the creation of the PS2 version. All we can say is that we are struggling, but the work is not been finished yet. Real Tenua wasn't released yet. Okay, basically, yeah, they just talk about more about the PS2 version of the visual novel, which honestly, from what I could tell by skimming through this, it's sort of irrelevant because yeah, I don't need to know about the Real Tenua port. So basically, working with little tidbits here. The fact that Genion approached Type Moon with the prospect of making an anime. That 24 episode limit meant they had to simplify the broader lore and of the world. That it was actually Nasu's under Nasu's supervision that they made the decision to try to adapt all 3 routes. And what else? That, of course, we got some reasons. We got the reasons why the voice actors were chosen. Nasu, let's see here. Nasu discussed with the director, chief scenario. So basically, Nasu had more input on the 2006 anime more than I thought he did. You know, based on just assumptions. It seems like he was pretty much well connected into the project than I expected him, according to this information at least. What this doesn't cover is the fact that, yes, the 2006 anime was originally going to be like an anime original storyline, and that MASH, instead of appearing as what she appears in Fate Grand Order, was going to be basically like a completely different character for said original storyline. Which I, again, like, because you can only really know about the little bits of nuggets of information about Fate 2006 if you really go into the development of Fate 2000, of the Fate's Day Night visual novel itself, because otherwise you don't know anything. Let's see here. So here's another one from the Fate Unpublished Material booklet. That's what I'm talking about. Which, so basically, originally there was going to be a new character named Ernest Gravehill for this original storyline. This overview: male, early 30s, from America. He was in the center of attention in the Mages Association. Comes from a well-known, prestigious noble family in London. Appears rarely in the main story. Debuts in the textbook The Master as a Mage. Master of Shielder, servant of the shield. So Mash was going to... So if anyone is like a Fate Grand Order fan, this is basically, I assume, like Proto-Roman. And of course you got Tachi, who is basically like a prototype version of Nash in Fate Grand Order. Let's see here. The Shielder concept was going to stem from this original storyline before they changed it. Let's see, overview. Tachi, servant of the shield. Originally the servant summoned by Ernest, but once Ernest drops out, she becomes a servant without a master, wandering around the city with a karmic connection to Saber and Shiro. So she would be a wandering like character without like a real purpose, and would just be there. But what her actual like purpose in the story would be is still unknown, and unfortunately, there's apparently no information about her overall like purpose on this original like storyline idea that they had. So that's something that I wish we had more information about. At first she has no sense of self, but as the story progresses she gains some of her former personality. So we know about that, but how she would fit in like plot wise, like, yeah, that bit is like a mystery. With Ernest as her master, she's like a robot who carries out her master's instructions, but becomes increasingly savage as she regains back her personality. Tachi's personality switches randomly with Galahad's, so it makes it seem as if she has a double persona. And basically, like, I suppose that's as much about Fate 2006 as I really gather. That's basically it. That's all the information you really have for Fate 2006 itself. Of course, I don't just want to like stop at Fate 2006. I want to like actually know about, you know, the history of the visual novel, because that will be an aspect that I want to touch upon in the video as well. Fate prototype, of course, I'm going to include that little nugget. Fate prototype being something that's actually been expanded ever since I made my original video on Fate prototype, like all those like years ago, like being turned into like an actual like light novel series and the like. But let's see. I mean, you know what? Screw it. Let's be a hack for a bit. And let's actually include the Fate Stay Night Wikipedia article, just to see if we can like find at least have the original sources. See here. Nasu began writing Fate Stay Night in college, and not intended it to be a game. Initially, Nasu only wrote what would become the Fate's storyline. Okay, we already know that. don't have 3 storylines. I know about the fact that Saber was originally a dude, and the protagonist was Ayako. I forgot her last name, but I know her. No, wait, her name's not. Is it was it Ayako? Hold on a bit. Fate. Okay, girl protag. What's her name again? No, not Gudako, not Ritsuka, rather. Fate prototype. Prototype Shiro. No, not that. I misspelled. Duh. Ayaka Saggio. Of course. Ayaka Saggio. Protagonist, a character in Fate Strange Fake, of course, but originally intended for Fate Stay Night before they changed it. See here. Look at that original design. And oh god, I gotta install an ad blocker for Firefox, because Jesus Christ, it's been a long time since I've been bombarded with ads like this. This is not attractive. Not attractive at all. See here. I guess I could use the Type Moon Wiki as well for little nuggets of information. Because there is like some useful information on the Type Moon Wiki as well. In fact, it's actually how I came to learn some of the nuggets about how I originally came to learn about Fate Prototype in the first place, back in the day. He's the precursor to Shiro Emiya, who was the protagonist of Fate Stay Night, of course. That was never the original version. That was never finished. She was originally detailed in character material. I wish I knew Japanese, and I wish I had character material. I wish I had this book, and I knew the language, or at least knew someone who would be willing to translate things for me, because so I can like learn things directly. Because it seems like character material seems to touch upon a lot of like interesting like old concepts before becoming final. That I wish I, like for example, Reen. Let's see, who was Reen's like prototype version? Was it her? Was it Arima? No, that's not her. Here. Fate, let me look up Fate Prototype, because Reen's original like character was going to be a hell of a lot different. Oh, Misaya Reirokan, the prototype version of Reen, right here. Just apparently going to be a completely different like character. Sadistic, proud, elegant, cruel, calculative. Completely different compared to the Reen character we have in the final novel. Hi there. You already know a lot about Fate Stay Night and have done videos about it before. What more do you want to know? I'm trying to track down nuggets. Well, actually, there are stuff that I don't know about Fate Stay Night. Some bits that are a mystery. I also am trying to essentially find a paper trail about Fate 2006, because that's what the video's about. Like, I'm trying to see if I can find a paper trail anywhere. Because I tried like Beast Slayer forums. That went nowhere. So essentially, like, all I really have about Fate 2006 is the details about the original version of Shielder, or MASH, the prototype MASH, and Ernest Gravehill, and this little interview about from Kinoko Nasu and Takashi Takeuchi about the PS2 version, and they briefly talk about the 2006 anime, but not enough to really know like what challenges Studio Dean and the like faced while making it, because that aspect is just non-existent, apparently. I mean, if anything, we know more about the development of Ufotable's Fate Stay Night efforts than we do Studio Dean's. No, I'm trying to find a paper trail about the 2006 Studio Dean anime. It's a retrospective. It's going to be a retrospective on Studio Dean's like anime, basically. Years later, it's going to be a years later on that. Basically in the same vein as my Madoka 11 years later video that I did. Yeah, I'm just trying to see how I can take the information that I know about the visual novel, see if I can learn anything more about the 2006 anime, and try to combine what I've learned to make an informative video, you know? You know? Okay, so here's what I know about. Here's what I've managed to learn about Fate 2006 so far. Genion approached Type Moon to make the anime. So Nasu had more input in the anime and the process of making the anime a thing, more than I thought he did. Like, I thought like it was Studio Dean's I thought Studio Dean, you know, had a lot of like free reign to do what they did, but no, it was actually Nasu's idea to combine the routes together. For example, it was his idea to do that, and the streamlining of certain elements about the broader like Nasuverse lore was a result of it being a 24 episode series. So yeah, Nasu was supervisor on it. They chose Ayako Kawasumi based on suggestions from a sound director and her pre-existing work at the time. And that's essentially it. That's basically all there is to really know about Fate 2006's pre-production. Like, the fact that they originally going to have an original storyline. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that, but yeah, they're going to have an original story with original characters, but aside from this interview and some little bits here from Fate unpublished material, that's basically it. It's a mystery that I wish I knew someone who worked on Fate 2006 or something. You know, that's the kind of thing that I wish it's something that I wish I had all the connections to know about. Yeah, the story has evolved like really like, completely. Like, wow. Let's see here. So I suppose I should get, you know what? Let's actually get to say, let's actually switch over. Let's do a switch over to the script, right? Go back to the script. I was oh yeah, this I was looking up Kaleido Star. It was recommended Kaleido Star. I'm gonna watch it later. Let's see here. Let's go to the script. So, Fate 2006. Let's see. Okay, let's see how many years was it? Yeah, yes, there was a general public. I actually reviewed that for the original Fate month. In fact, let's see here. How many years? And okay, that's I suck at math, chat. I suck at math. I really suck at math. Wow. Okay, let's see here. It's 2023. Dude. Wow, holy shit. I should know how many years 2006 is compared to. Okay, let me bring up a calculator, cuz unless you guys know the answer and I'm just being my math skills are just completely shitting the bed. Minus 2006. 17 years later. There we go. That's the title of the video. Fate Stay Night 2006, 17 years later. Wow. You're getting some behind the scenes shit right here. I use Google Docs for this kind of thing. Moving away from Notepad or WordPad rather. Let's see here. How do I want to start the script? Right? That's a big question for me. How do I want to like start it? I guess I want to start it with a Type Moon. No, I don't want to start it with saying Type Moon. Because I know that Type Moon started out as a doujin company. They started out as a doujin company. Nasu originally wrote Card no Kyokai. Then they went on to Tsukihime as a doujin visual novel. Fate Stay Night being their first commercial product. You know, that's with the actual like, you know, official publishing, like outside of doujin circles. So how do I start? See, like imagine like a video. How would I start a retrospective? That's always a challenge when making a new video. How do you want to start it? So let's see here. I remember when Fate 2006 came out. I can feel much like bones turn to dust. Dude, I remember when Fate 2006 was was original. I remember. I mean, I didn't watch Fate 2006 when it was new, but I watched it before I watched Fate Zero, back when that anime was new. Like, what the fuck? Where did time just flies? It's ridiculous. Time really does just go by. My God. Wow. I guess I want to start it out with No. Okay, I know that Fate Stay Night was originally envisioned in 1996, so let's maybe like use that as a root. After finding success in of their doujin visual novel. Type Moon about ready. Just about ready to set their sights on fully commercial let's see here. Okay, after finding success of their doujin visual novel, Tsukihime, Type Moon were just about ready to set their sights on a fully commercial product. No shit. But this is only going to be for now, just to start with. Let's see here. Let's see. What do I know about Kara no Kyokai? Actually, I don't know shit about Kara no Kyokai. Like the original version of the original novel of Kara no Kyokai, the light novel, originated in October 1998 as a series of 5 chapters released online. Doujin-based website Takeboki. Okay, interesting. That's good to know. Okay, actually, let me revise this. Type Moon. For 20 years ago. Use that as the starter, like, sentence. Then originating. As an online releasing the last 2 chapters at the which comic head was it? 56. After finding success from doujin visual novel, they were just about Hinoko Nasu and Takeshi. You ever thought about learning Japanese, my guy? Yeah, I tried self-teaching Japanese like years ago. And I realized that like I'm just not the self-teaching type. Like I wish I had a Japanese class or something, you know? 'Cause I don't know, I just don't really work well in a self-teaching environment. I got to be in a classroom where I can focus my attention Basically, I'm distracted easily. There's a lot of I procrastinate a shit ton. But yes, I have thought about learning Japanese. Definitely. I even like tried. I've tried, and I just slipped off brutally. I found researching stuff in Japanese Google searches and using Google Translate works well to find things out that aren't in any English language media. God, I just wish I knew someone who actually was like a translator. I wish I knew an actual translator, like as like a contact, right? Who could do that for me? Because God, dude. Back in 1996. Way back in 1996. Doing it on the back of his mind all the way back in 1996. Something on the horizon. Nah, that's cheesy. Okay, there. Doing on the back of his mind all the way back in 1996. There. Had evolved. Oh yeah, I remembered a little detail about the original Fate Stay Night. Wrote it back all the way back in college. It was originally going to be like a regular novel. It was going to be a novel, Fate Stay Night, just a regular old novel. I forgot about that little detail, that nugget. It was going to be just going to be like a novel, like Karu no Kyokai. Nasu had attended his little boy. Little concept to a novel. But why? Trying to remember why he changed his mind though. To like wait and turn it into. I'm just gonna put, but turning into a visual novel instead. Okay, so I guess the root of it is that, okay, so Type Moon, Fate Stay Night, you know, basically turned Type Moon into like a completely different company, almost overnight. from a doujin company to a fully commercial company, all stemming from one title. The popularity of just one title, like just completely like, you know, turning the whole company around into something that's like to a much bigger entity, and continues to make the company a big entity in Japan. Fate series. I know this is kind of boring and all that. This is I know this is like not necessarily the like I don't, in fact, I'm not even sure like this is like stream material. But damn it, I just want to see if I could like share something, you know? I want to share the experience of like what it's like to make a video with you guys, because sometimes it could lead to some interesting little moments of just kind of like just starting out from like a page, like a blank page, and then like growing from there. Because wow, holy shit. Network TBS was also involved in making the first Face the Night anime, along with the studio Dean. Nasu was also deeply involved in making it. Yes. That's actually something that was learned from the aforementioned interview that Genion approached Nasu with the prospect of turning Face the Night into an anime. And yeah, let's see here. Face Day Night, Titan Moon. Ignore the tabs, by the way. I'm shameless. Let's see. Pinko wrote Face the Night. He claims big fan of Samurai Resurrection. That's I don't know about that. That seems like a citation needed on that. Nasu first began writing Face the Night in college, but it had not intended to be a game. Initially, Nasu only wrote what it would become the game's Fate storyline. However, the game went on to have 3 storylines. It started out with only one storyline, but it went on, it expanded from there. But why did he decide to change it into a game? That's the question that I have. Decided to turn. Okay, it was after Tsukihime's success. It's after Tsukihime's success that I decided, okay. Okay, I need to rewrite some of this here. Compared where they were 20 years ago. Karno Kyokai has since ended, originating as an online novel before finally releasing the last 2 chapters at the 56th Comic Head. And after finding success with the instead. The idea had evolved into something very different. From a single storyline to 3. Gender swap. In between. This the Type Moon's first real game. Just however, was how big? No, that wouldn't be a different story entirely. It's because Tsukihime and the pre-existing popularity of Kar no Kyokai and Tsukihime definitely had a effect in terms of Fate Stay Night's overall like commercial success back in the day. This was to be Type Moon's first real game. That's the real story. That's the real story. No, that's not the... I think Melty Blood was also popular too, along with Tsukihime. Yeah, probably as well. In the fighting game sphere in Japan. Let's see. I like to like go back and like reread again and again what I have like over and over, just to see what else I can do. Sometimes I have brain blasts that way. And I've played Melty Blood. Well, not the original Melty Blood, but Type Lumina. Or wait, what was it actually called? Type. I actually have it on Steam. I have a Melty Blood. I have I have Melty Blood Actress again, current code, and Melty Blood Type Lumina on Steam. So I've played Type Lumina a little bit. I got my ass kicked a lot online. I am just not good at fighting games. Like, I suck at them. A lot of really good players on there. I just got hammered. Real bad. There would also be where's this? For this visual novel. Understood. Time continues. Influence. This very day. Hailed as a success. Hailed as a success. That's in its day. To previous reputation. Because man, Type Moon was all over doujin circles back then. Actually, what was the Tsukihime's like sequel? Let me see here. What was Tsukihime's sequel called again? Let's see here. Kagetsu Toya. Kagetsu Toya. Yeah, let me just use that instead of... set their sights on a fully commercial product. Stewing on the back of his mind all the way since 1996. You can look at Otaku Daikun and Saw the 4 for information on lore if you want. Well, this isn't going to be about lore, about Time Moon lore, as much as it's going to be just... It's intended to be about Fate 2006, but it's intertwined with information about the visual novel, the history of the visual novel. So, just kind of working off of that, basically, for this video project that I'm making. Yes, this was to be Time Moon's first real game. It would also first real commercial game. It'd also be one where this story really begins. Where this story really begins. For this one particular... Is there a female in Fate? I mean... No. But... in a way... I guess you could say Gilgamesh is kind of like that. Yeah, let's say Gilgamesh is kind of like that. Maybe. So, sort of. But he's a dude, though. It'd also be where the story really begins for this one particular visual novel, has not only stood the test of time, but continues to influence even to this very day. Hailed as a success. Probably due to Time Moon's previous reputation up to that point. Go on. Spawn a franchise. It would go on to spawn a franchise. That one visual novel was Fate Stay Night. It is and it is greatest visual novels of all time. Let's face it, it really is. Any Arabic characters in Fate? Yeah, actually, there are characters in the spin-off media. Well, actually, yeah, Arabic. Characters. Middle Eastern servants. Yeah, Augur Mainu. Got Solomon. You have Semiramis. Queen of Sheba. They're all exaggerated, of course. They're not going to be like, you know, they're anime-fied, basically. But yeah, you got like Ishtar. If you're into like Ishtar being like, let's see here, like Angramanyu, David, Goisha, Semiramis, Solomon. Just anime-fied though, you know. So just really anime-fied. But they yes, there are Middle Eastern like characters in the Fate franchise. It's 2006 anime. Well, that's something. To be looked at. Okay, I suppose that's going to be the intro. Okay, let's see what I have. Type Moon is in a different place compared to where they were over 20 years ago. Cardinal Kyokai had since ended, originating as an online novel before finally releasing the last 2 chapters of the 56th comic hit. And after finding success from their Dojin visual novel Tsukihime and the sequel Kagetsu Toya, Kiriko Nasu and Takashi Takeuchi were just about ready to set their sights on a fully commercial product. Stewing on the back of his mind since 1996 when he was in college, Nasu had intended to make his little boy meets a girl concept into a novel like Cardinal Kyokai, but the idea would be scrapped in favor of turning it into a visual novel instead, intending to expand their reach in that market. The idea would evolve through time into something very different, something very different. Go. They're going from a single storyline to 3, and a gender swap, with a gender swap in between. There we go. This was to be Type Moon's first real commercial game. It would also be where the story really begins. This one particular visual novel has not only stood the test of time, but continues to influence even to this day. Hailed as a success, probably due to Type Moon's previous reputation up to that point, it would go on to spawn a franchise. That one visual novel was Face Day Night, and it is one of the greatest visual novels of all time. Or rather, I should say, it is typically considered one of the greatest visual novels of all time. Is 2006 anime, though? Well, that's something to be looked at. Intro, opening, and then usually I would just make it bold, and then I would probably use a name, a chapter name for this. So what would be a good chapter name for the next bit? Let's see. Thinking. What would be Fate? What would be a nice Fate related first chapter? I'm just gonna put first Grail. No, that I don't know. I'll change it later. That's gonna be a placeholder. So First Grail. That's gonna be the first chapter of this retrospective video project. Let's see. And from there, I would basically just write what I know about the 2004 visual novel, I guess. How long have I been streaming? Look at this. Streaming for an hour and a half. You know what? Why don't we look at some Otaku Daikun like videos or something? Or maybe there are videos about Fate Stay Night that I could look at. That would be like speed up the process. For some reason, hold on a bit. Window capture, browser. There we go. There we go. Alright. Yeah, fuck it. Let's see if there's like any videos on YouTube that I can watch. Fate Stay Night history. Oh, we got Giguk. Okay, we have lore videos. We have lore videos, but we don't actually have like history of Fate Stay Night. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. Okay. So we don't have a video highlighting the history of Fate Stay Night itself on YouTube. I could be the first, maybe. Okay. That's good to know. If I actually make this video, I could be the first person to actually talk about the history of Fate Stay Night in video form on YouTube. I would like that honor. I would like that. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan. See. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I already did the visual novel. But fine. The Knight's development. Is often barrier. Let's see. Here. Any information one could find about Fate Stay Night's development is often shrouded behind a language barrier. Available in English. sometimes patient use interpretation. One needs to use to understand. The that in mind.
What's the world come to when everything's going the way of the gun? What's the world come to?
Consists
Life is a shadow of what
gaudily
I want you to know. Don't take it slow.
not shoddily. Shoddy. Articles. This of shoddy articles. This is of articles. Shoddy translation. And the Type Moon Wiki. Reddit. And the Type Moon Wiki. And the Type Moon Wiki. Yeah, the Type Moon Wiki. It's interesting though that no one has actually made a history of Fate Stay Night. Like the history of the development of Fate Stay Night. Like no one's actually done a video on that. I can't I still can't get over that. Like wow, I could be the first to do it. Like, hey, you want to learn about the development of Fate Stay Night, but without having to read? I'm your guy. Let's do it. Yeah. I could do that. I can do that. Let's go for it. Woo. Any information one could find about Fate Stay Night's development is often shrouded behind a language barrier, and what is available in English can sometimes lead to one needing to use a partial interpretation to understand its origins. So please bear that in mind, as the greatest sources of Fate's development history consists of articles with shoddy translation, Reddit threads, and the Type Moon Wiki to piece it all together. Yep. As said previously, Fate Stay Night originally started for yet another in the same vein as Kara no Kyokai. Now commonly known as Fate Prototype. Commonly known as Fate Prototype. I might have to consult my own video on Fate Prototype now, just to get a refresher, right? Just to refresh my memory. Because my God, it's been a long while since I've recited Fate Stay Night history. Wow. OG. Let's see if I can find my old video. Month. Okay, prototype. Here we go. Here we go. Let me bring this up. Let me bring this little nugget back up to the surface. Let me turn the music off. And play this little nugget here. Wait, is it not capturing? Not capturing. Okay. Actually, hold on. Let me see if I can do something else. Let's see here. Blah, blah, blah. This, that. Gotta find it. 2014. Jesus Christ. Here's like my original video.
Fate Prototype, an animated digest released alongside Carnival Phantasm Season 3, is quite possible.
Old video. Just to like.
Fate Prototype, an animated digest released alongside Carnival Phantasm Season 3, is quite possibly the most interesting curiosity to appear in anime form related to Fate Stay Night. It represents a reimagined approximation of a concept that will later be changed up, gives light to a plot that never was, brings forth ideas that were scrapped or changed in its finality, and gives us a brief but really fascinating insight into characters who would shape into the ones we would eventually get. You see, Fate Stay Night wasn't always going to be the Fate Stay Night we know. In fact, if this is any indication, things might have taken a much different path. Granted, things don't appear to be very clear as to how this particular version of Fate Stay Night might have transpired, but I'm willing to bet that it would have made for one hell of an experience. The plot, as far as I've seen and read on the wiki, was to be a drastically different beast. It was going to be about a girl named Ayaka Sajo, the last surviving member of her family due to the previous Holy Grail War, where her father and sister were both killed in the conflict and appears to live a normal life. Then again, to say you live a normal life in the goddamn Nasuverse is almost like saying you'll only jump out of an airplane if someone else pushes you out of it. Of course, shit hits the fan as she is promptly tossed into a grand battle royale for the Holy Grail after her life is seemingly threatened by some guy with a deadly weapon who's revealed to be— oh my god, is that Lancer? He looks so much more badass than what he ended up looking like, with all that armor and shit. Definitely a step up over Captain Spandex over here. But just before her life is about to be— definitely a step up over Captain Spandex over here. But just before her life is about
Okay, shut up. I was louder back then. Wow. Then again, I had the ability to be louder because I had my like an isolated room. This is back in the Philippines. My God. Dude. I had so much energy back then. What the fuck happened to me? Yeah.
Impaled out of her. A force flows from inside her, summoning a powerful warrior. The strong female king of knights, my waifu, Saber, wait! You're not a chick, you're a dude! With a dude face and a dude body, and you're smiling. That's not what Saber did when she was summoned. This dude Saber seems chill as fuck. What the hell is going on? Yep, believe it or not, there was a time where Saber was actually a dude, more in line with his identity as King Arthur, with Ayaka being essentially the original version of Shiro. Getting its start back when Kinako Nasu was in high school, Fate Stay Night was originally going to be a novel, much like Karen no Kyokai was, but because of the success of Tsukihime, they decided to retool the story and transitioned it away from being a novel to instead become a visual novel. And in order to appeal to target visual novel demographics, their characteristics and traits were changed to reflect that decision. This meant that the gender roles had to be switched, and thus, the chick turned into a dude, while the dude turned into a chick. And you could put together the pieces from there. But those two are not the only ones who changed. Originally, Rin Tosaka would not have been Rin Tosaka at all, but someone named Misaya Rerokan, a girl who is said to have had a similar fundamental backstory to her final counterpart, but if her scenes are anything to go by, she would have been a much darker and sadistic character. Kirei Kotamine's original counterpart, Sancried Fan, would have almost played a similar antagonistic role as he does in the final version, except he looks to have been a much more psychotic character than Kirei's calm, calculating, and exacting demeanor. And the digest gives us a peek into the rest of this unfinished concept, such as the other characters that never made the cut, like the original counterparts of Elia, Ryder, and more, including Archer, the original version of Gilgamesh, who, well, let's not kid ourselves, Gilgamesh didn't really change all that much from this version, and this really fucked up looking kid. Looks like he needs a Subway sandwich. Also, despite the inclusion of the Holy Grail War, the system of which the Grail War utilizes would have had a distinct difference compared to the final version, mostly in how the actual masters themselves were to be categorized. You see, each person would have had something called master degrees, each with a name. This hierarchy is comprised of princes, powers, virtues, dominions, thrones, cherubim, and seraphim. And though this might have been intended to add some kind of class warfare element, don't quote me on that. Unfortunately, Fate Prototype doesn't give us a clear picture as to how this master degree system was going to work in its practical application, and the wiki's explanation doesn't cover all the bases. But even so, combine these details with the grim tone and something that alludes to this vision's take on Heaven's Feel, and you have a 12-minute digest that doesn't show much, yet shows plenty. Even from this, you can see all the elements that would create the Fate Stay Night we know today. From the ideas to even the characters that would later evolve, this may be a montage, but this totally succeeded in making a very intrigued impression on me, becoming interested by this old variation of the story. I actually kinda wish it were a novel as it was intended, or even as something else like a manga, or an anime, or a film, or something. I would love to see Fate Prototype in its entirety, if only for the sake of curiosity. Now, I wanted to keep this video rather short, and I'm going to say for the record that I don't know everything about what Fate Prototype brings. I just know I like it. And even if we'll never get the full picture of what this story was, I guess at the end of the day, what we were given is more than enough.
Phone. I can't actually hear the video on the stream. Okay, enough of that. So yeah, let's see here. As previously stated, actually, I might have the original, like, I have the original, frickin'. See here, I might have the original frickin' script for that video somewhere. Let me try to find it. Surprised if I didn't, like, keep it. Try to see if I can keep all my shit. Review scripts, Fate Month. What about Fate Prototype? The script for Fate Prototype. Nope. Okay, never mind then. I didn't keep it. Oh, wait a minute. It might be in miscellaneous files. Might be in the miscellaneous files here. No? Oh, wow. I did not keep it. Well, that sucks. That sucks I didn't keep the Fate Prototype script. I could have just like copied and pasted it. It'll save me a little bit of time. Whatever. I guess I could just like type it out again from scratch, I suppose. Fuck it. Yeah. Whatever. Let's see here. Commonly known as Fate Prototype. Let me look up Fate Prototype. Fate Prototype. Fate Prototype. This is basically the original version of the story. You hear the second Tokyo Holy Grail War. It is the reworked original concept. All right. Setting, the plot. Yeah. Prototype. The original version of Fate Stay Night, now called Old Fate, and Fate Origin, was a novel that Nasu wrote during high school. Okay. So I need to revise the script a little bit. It's on college, but high school. Since okay, let's see here. The prototype. The prototype. Let's see here. Well, I had the intention of not like looking up a wiki and just kind of winging it from original like source material to now actually doing that. Actually going, yeah. How mighty have fallen, I guess. But you know, the Taiwan wiki is a pretty good source of information. You know, translated information at least. It's just yeah. They're reluctant to completely abandon many of the original charms that were discarded, eventually being vastly redesigned as a visual novel to suit the target audience. They were reluctant to completely abandon many of the original charms that were discarded, and they had wished to utilize them somehow with each passing year. 20 years after originally being planned, they decided to make use of the release of Carnival Phantasm. Yeah, they used the Carnival Phantasm to showcase Fate Prototype, but that's irrelevant to the original, like, old Fate. The old Fate, or Fate Origin, like, storyline. Included prototype material data book. Prototype material. Again, god damn it. Just untranslated. Yeah. Darn it. Oh wait, here it is. Prototype material translation. Okay, actually, holy shit. Here we go. Fade Prototype. A translation by Food, Yanru, Kotonoha, and others collected from Beast Lair. Beast Lair forums. Okay. How long is this thing? Holy shit. Okay, this thing's going to be like 100 pages. This thing. So I guess I'm not going to do that on stream. I guess I'm going to do this like going to go through this like manually like later, like sometime like on my own time off stream, but interesting that I'm going to keep this open for my own like viewing, unless let's see here. Wait a minute, is this just the... Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Prototype material translation. Okay. On. Actually, let me just kind of skim through it a little bit. Oh, caster. Interesting. Wow. Okay. Back in 2014. But the... To reiterate for today. You know what? I think I'm just going to end the stream here. Because I have a lot of work to do. It looks like. Yeah. I have a lot of work to do. And a lot of it's going to be really boring. Boring, but I should have something by the time... Should have a script at some point. Like, if not this month, then maybe next month. Yeah. I should get, on this as soon as possible. Gonna end things here. Anyone who might be watching this, or anybody who like stopped by to like, check this out for a little bit before, kind of falling off. I suppose this is gonna be it for now. Again, the video is now under construction. It started. It will be released when it is finished. Whenever that'll be. So, yeah. Until next time. Until maybe the video is done, even. It's going to be Hollow of Dawn signing out. Hopefully it'll be a good video.